Stay not yet. Father, canst thou tell me the time before we came into the cell?
Miranda, how is it that this lives in thy mind? What seest thou else in the dark backward abysm of time? Thou rememberest how thou camest here.
But that I do not.
Miranda, thy father was the Duke of Millen and a prince of power. Thy mother was a piece of virtue, and thou his only heir and princess no worse issued. My brother and thy uncle, called Antonio, that a brother could be so perfidious. Him, next thyself, I loved best in all the world, and on him put the manage of my state. My government I cast upon my brother, and to my state grew stranger, being transported and wrapped in secret studies. Thy false uncle, dost thou attend?
Sir, most heedfully.
Having both the key of officer and office, he set all hearts in the state to whatever tune would please his ear. Thou attend'st not.
Oh, good sir, I do.
I pray thee, mark me. In my false brother awakened an evil nature. He, being thus lorded, he did believe himself the duke, out of the substitution, and executing the outward face of royalty with all prerogative. Hence, his ambition growing. Dost thou hear?
Your tale, sir, would cure deafness.
To have no screen between the part he played and him he played it for, he needs be absolute Millen. My library was dukedom large enough. Of temporal royalties he thinks me now incapable. Confederates with the King of Naples to give him annual tribute, do him homage, subject his coronet to his crown, and bend a dukedom yet unbowed to most ignoble stooping. The King of Naples, being an enemy to me inveterate, hearkens to my brother's suit, which was that he should presently extirpate me and mine out of my dukedom, and confer fair Millen with all the honors upon my brother. Whereon a treacherous army levied one midnight, fated to the purpose, did Antonio open the gates of Millen, and in the dead of darkness these ministers for the purpose hurried hence, me and thy crying self.
Alack for pity. I not remembering how I cried out then, will cry it o'er again. It is a hint that rings my eyes to it.
So great the love my people bore me, they hurried us aboard a bark and bore us some leagues to the sea, where they had prepared a rotten carcass of a boat, not rig, nor tackle sail, nor mast. The rats instinctively had quit it. There they hoist us to cry to the waves who roared back at us, to sigh to the winds who sighing back again did us but loving wrong.
Alack, what trouble I was then to you.
Oh, a cherubim thou was that did preserve me. Thou did smile. Some food we had, and some fresh water that a noble Neapolitan, one Lady Gonzala, out of her charity, being then appointed the master of this design, did give us. Rich garments, linens, stuffs, and necessities, which since have steaded much. Knowing I loved my books, out of her goodness, she did furnish me with certain volumes from mine own library, which I prized above my dukedom. Then, endowed with a fortitude from heaven by providence divine, here, on this island we landed, and here have I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more profit than other princesses can, that have more time for vainer hours, and tutors not so careful. Now, lie there, my art.
Stay not yet. Please you, farther.
The Tempest. On a ship at sea, a tempestuous noise of thunder and lightning is heard. Enter the master. Bosun!
Here, master, what cheer?
Good! Speak to the mariners! Look to it, Yarley, or else we run ourselves aground! Bestir! Bestir!
Hi, my hearts, yar yar. Blow till thou burst thy wind if room enough.
Good master, have care. Where's the bosun?
I pray now keep below. You mar labor. Keep your cabins. You do assist the storm.
Nay, good, be patient.
To cabin! Silence! Trouble me not.
Good, yet remember whom thou hast aboard.
None that I more love than myself. Cheerly, good hearts, out of my way, I say.
This man...
Down with the topmast! Yard, lower, lower! Bring her to try with main course!
No idea.
A plague upon this howling. They're louder than the weather or our office. Yet again, what do you hear? Shall we give all and drown? Have you a mind to sing?
A pox to your throat, you bawling, blasphemous, and charitable dog! We're less afraid to drown than thou art!
Lay her hold, the hold! Try with main course.
Oh, we split, oh, Francisco, work at the door.
Hell is empty and all the devils are here.
No.
If by your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this roar, allay them. The sky, it seems, would pour down stinking pitch, but that the sea, mounting to the welkin's cheek, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those I saw suffer. A brave vessel who had, no doubt, some noble creatures in her, dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart. Poor souls, they perished. If I had been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the earth, or ere it should the good ship so have swallowed, and the frauding souls within her.
Be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there's no harm done.
Oh, woe the day!
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one, thee, my child. The time has come I should inform thee farther. Lend a hand. Pluck my magic garment from me. So. Lie there, my art. Wipe thine eyes. Be comforted. The direful aspect of the wreck, which has awakened the very virtue of compassion in thee, I have with such provision in mine art so safely ordered that not a soul, no, not so much perdition as a hair betid any creature in the vessel, which thou heardst cry, which thou sawest sink.
Heavens, thank you for it. And now I pray you, sir, for still 'tis beating in my mind, your reason for raising this sea storm.
Know thus far forth, by accident most strange, and by providence divine, now, my dear lady, all mine enemies are landed upon this shore. And by my prescience I find my zenith doth depend upon a most auspicious star, whose influence, if now I court not but omit, my fortunes will ever after droop. But hence, cease thy questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. 'Tis a good dullness, and let it give way. No, thou canst not choose. Come away, spirit, come, I'm ready now. Approach, my Ariel.
All hail, great master, grave sir, hail! I come to answer thy best pleasure, be it to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on the curled clouds to thy strong bidding, task Ariel and all her quality.
Oh, Ariel.
Hast thou performed to point the tempest that I bade thee?
To every article. I boarded the king's ship, now on the beak, now in the deck, in the waist, in every cabin I flamed amazement. Sometime I divide and burn in many places. On the topmast, the yards and bowsprit, would I flame distinctly than we enjoin. Jove's lightnings, the precursors of the dreadful thunderclaps, more momentary and sight outrunning were not. Fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring seem to besiege and make his bold wave tremble. Yea, his dread trident shake.
Oh, this was bravely done! Oh, my Ariel, who was so firm, so constant that this coil would not infect his reason?
Not a soul that felt a fever of the mad, and played some tricks at desperation. All but mariners plunged into the foaming brine, and quit the vessel, then all afire with me. The king's son, Ferdinand, with hair upstaring, then like reeds, not hair, was the first that leaped, cried, "Hell is empty, and all the devils are here!"
Well done, my spirit, but was not this nigh shore?
Close by, my master.
But are they?
Ariel, safe.
Not a hair perished. On their sustaining garments not a blemish, but fresher than before. And as thou badest me, in troops I have dispersed them about the isle. The king's son have I landed by himself, who I left cooling of the air with sighs, and sitting in an odd angle of the isle, his arms in this sad knot.
Oh, of the king's ship, and all the rest of the mariners, say how thou hast disposed, and all the rest of the fleet.
Safely in harbor is the king's ship, in the deep nook, where once thou called me up at midnight to fetch thee dew from the still vexed Bermudas. There she's hid, the mariners all under hatches stowed, who with the charm have joined to their suffered labors. As for the rest of the fleet, they are upon the Mediterranean float, bound sadly home toward Naples, supposing they saw that great ship wrecked and their great person perish.
Expertly was this done, my spirit, but there's more work. What is the time of the day?
Past the 6th hour.
At least 2 glasses. The time betwixt 6 and now must by us both be spent most preciously.
Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee what thou hast promised, which is not yet performed me.
How now, moody? What is thou canst demand?
My liberty!
Before the time be out, no more.
I prithee, let me remember thee what thou hast done. I have made thee no mistakings, served without grudge or grumblings. Thou didst promise to bait me a full year.
Dost thou forget what a torment I did free thee from?
No.
Thou dost, and think'st it much to do me bidding in the salt deep, to run upon the sharp wind of the north, to do me bidding in the veins of the earth when it is baked with frost.
I do not, sir.
Thou liest, malignant thing. Hast thou forgot the damned witch Sycorax, who with age and envy was grown into a hoop? Hast thou forgot her?
No, sir.
Thou hast. Where was she born? Speak, tell me.
Sir, in Arger.
Oh, was she so? I must once in a month recount what thou hast been, which thou forgetst. This damned witch Sycorax, for mischiefs manifold and sorceries too terrible to enter human hearing, was from Argier banished. For one thing she did, they would not take her life. Is this not true?
Aye, sir.
This blue-eyed hag was hither brought with child, and here was left by the sailors. Thou, Sirrah, as thou reports thyself, was then her servant. But, being a spirit too delicate to act her earthy and abhorred commands, refusing her grand hests, she did confine thee, with the help of her more potent ministers, and in her most unmitigable rage, into a cloven pine, where thou didst painfully remain imprisoned some 12 years, during which space she died, and left thee there to vent thy groans as fast as mill wheels strike. You know that at this time this island was not honored save for the son that she did litter here, that freckled whelp, hag-born, not honored with another human shape.
Yes, Caliban, her son.
Dull thing, I say so. Yes, he, that Caliban whom now I keep in service. Thou best knowst what a torment I did free thee from. Thy cries would make wolves howl and pierce the hearts of ever-angry bears. It was a torment to lay upon the damned, which Sycorax could not again undo. It was mine art when I arrived and heard thee cry that made gape the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master.
If thou more murmurst, I will rend an oak and peg thee in his knotty entrails till thou hast howled away 12 winters.
Pardon, master. I will be correspondent to command and do my spiriting gently.
Do so. And in 2 days' time I shall free thee.
That's my noble master. What shall I do? Say what? What shall I do?
Go. Make thyself like a nymph of the sea. Be subject to no sight but thine and mine, invisible to every eyeball else. Go hither and take on this shape, and then hence come in it. Awake, dear heart, awake. Thou hast slept well, awake. Come on, we'll go and visit Caliban, whom never yields us a kind answer.
'Tis a villain, sir. I do not love to look on.
Yet we cannot miss him. He makes our fire, brings in our wood, and serves in offices that profit us. Come forth, Caliban, thou earth thou! Speak!
There's wood enough within.
Come forth, I say. There's other employment for thee. When, thou tortoise, when? Come forth, thou poisonous slave, got by the devil himself upon thy wicked dam. Come forth!
As wicked dew as air, my mother brushed with raven's feather from unwholesome fen. Drop on you both! A southwest blow on ye and blister you all over!
Be sure for this, tonight thou shalt have cramps, side stitches that shall pen thy breath up. Urchins shall, for the vast of night they work, all exercise upon you, and be more pinched than honeycomb, each pinch more stinging than the bees that made 'em.
I must eat my dinner. This island's mine, by Sycorax my mother, which thou takest from me when thou camest first. Thou strokest me and madest much of me, wouldst give me waters with berries in it, and teach me how to name the bigger light, and how the less that's burned by day and night. And then I loved thee, and showed thee all the qualities of this isle, the fresh springs, brine pits, barren places, and fertile. Cursed be I that did so! All the charms of Sycorax, toads, bats, beetles light on you! For I am all the subject that you have, which first was mine, O king, and here you stymie me in this hard rock, whilst you do keep from me the rest of this island.
Thou most lying slave, whom stripes may move, not kindness. I have used thee, filth as thou art, with human care, lodged thee in mine own cell, until thou didst seek to violate the honor of my child.
Oh ho, wouldst have been done. Thou didst prevent me. I had peopled else this island with Calibans.
Abhorrent slave!
No.
Which any print of goodness wilt not take, being capable of all ill. I pitied thee, took pains to make thee speak, taught thee each hour one thing or other, when thou didst not, savage, know thine own meaning, but would gabble like a thing most brutish. I endowed thy purposes with words that made them known. But thy vile race, though thou didst learn, had that in it which good natures cannot abide to be with. Therefore wast thou deservedly confined into this rock, who hath deserved more than a prison.
You taught me language, and my profit on it is I know how to curse. The Red Plague rid you for learning me your language.
Taxi hence! Trouble us no more. Go, fetch us in fuel, and do it quickly. Thou art best to answer other employment. Shrug thou malice! If thou neglectst or dost unwillingly that which I command, I'll rack thee with old cramps, pen up thy bones with aches, and make thee howl so that beasts shall tremble at thy din.
No! Pray thee. I must obey. His art is of such power, it would control my damned god Setibus, make a vassal of him.
Hence.
Come into these yellow sands and take hands, curtsied when you haven't kissed the wild waves whist, footed feetly here and there, and sweet sprites the bird and bear. Hark, bow wow, the watchdogs bark, bow wow, I hear the strutting chanticleer. Cry cock-a-doodle-doo.
offered in the earth. It sounds no more, and sure waits upon some god of the isle. Sitting on a bank, weeping again the king my father's wreck, the music crept by me upon the water, allaying both their fury and my passion upon its sweet air. Thence I have followed it, or hath drawn me rather, but 'tis gone. No, begins again.
Father lies, of his bones are coral made. Those are pearls that were his eyes. Nothing of him that doth fade, but doth suffer a sea change into something rich and strange. Sea nymphs hourly ring his knell. Hark, now I hear them. Hark, now I hear them. Ding dong bell.
The ditty does remember my drowned father. This is no mortal business, nor no sound the earth owes. I hear it now above me.
The fringed curtains of thine eye advance, and say what thou seest yond.
What is? A spirit? Lord, how it looks about. Believe me, sir, it carries a brave form, but 'tis a spirit.
No, dear. It eats and sleeps, and hath such senses as we have. Such. This gallant you see before you was in the wreck, and though he's somewhat stained with grief, that's beauty's canker, he's what you might call a goodly person. He's lost his fellows and strays about to find them.
I might call him a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
It goes on. As my soul prompts it, spirit, fine spirit, you'll be free for this!
Most sure the goddess upon whom these airs attend vouchsafe my prayer. May know if you remain upon this island that you will some good instruction give how I may bear me here. My prime request, which I do last pronounce is, oh, you wonder if you be maid or no.
No wonder, sir, but certainly a maid.
My language. Heavens, I'm the best to speak this speech were I but where 'tis spoken.
How? Now, the best? What wert thou if the king of Naples heard thee?
A single thing, as I am now, that wonders to hear thee speak of Naples. He does hear me, and that he does I weep. Myself am Naples, who with mine eyes never since I had beheld the king my father wrecked.
Alack, for mercy!
Yes, faith, and all his lords, the Duke of Milan and his brave son being twain.
The Duke of Milan and his more braver daughter could now control thee, 'twere fit to do it. At first sight, they've changed eyes. A word, good sir. I fear you have done yourself a wrong. A word.
Why speaks my father so ungently? This is the third man that e'er I saw, the first that e'er I sighed for. Pity move my father to be inclined my way.
Oh, if your affection lock on forth, I'll make you the queen of Naples.
Soft, sir! One word more. They're now in either's powers. But this swift business I must uneasy make, lest too light the prize make the winning light. One word more. I pray thou dost attend me. Here thou dost usurp the name thou owest not. Thou hast put thyself upon this isle as a spy, to steal it from me, the lord on't.
No, as I am a man.
There's nothing ill can dwell in such a temple. If the ill spirits have so far a house, good things will strive to dwell with it.
Follow. Speak not for him, he's a traitor. I'll manacle thy neck and feet together. Sea water shalt thou drink, and thy food shall be the fresh brook mussels, withered roots and husks were in the acorn cradled. Follow.
No!
Oh.
I will resist such entertainment till mine enemy has more power.
Oh, dear father, make not too rash a trial of him, for he's gentle and not fearful.
What? My foot, my tutor? Put thy sword up, traitor. Oh, who makes a show but dares not strike? Thy brain is so possessed with guilt. Oh, come from thy ward, for here could I disarm you with this stick and make your weapon drop.
Beseech you, father!
Hang not upon my garments!
Sir, have pity. I'll be his surety.
Silence. One word more shall make me chide thee, if not hate thee. Hush! Thinks there are no more such shapes in the world as he, having seen but him and Caliban. Oh, foolish girl, to the most of men this is a Caliban, and they to him are angels.
My affections are then most humble. I have no ambition to see a goodlier man.
Come on, obey. Oh, thy nerves are in their infancy again and have no vigor in them.
So they are. My spirits as in a dream are all bound up. My father's loss, the weakness which I feel, the wreck of all my friends, nor this man's threats, up to whom I am subdued, are but light to me. Whom I type through my prison once a day, behold this maid. All else corners of the earth let liberty make use of. Space enough I have in such a prison.
It works! Come on! Spirit, thou hast done well. Follow me, hence what else thou shalt do me.
Be of comfort, sir. My father's of a better nature than he appears by speech. This is unwanted which now came from him.
Hark what else thou shalt do me, and thou shalt be free as the winds for this. But then exactly do each point of my command.
To the syllable.
Come, follow, speak not for him.
Beseech ye, sir, be merry, you have cause, so have we all of joy, for our escape is much beyond our loss. Our hint of woe is common. Every day some sailor's wife, the masters of some merchant, and the merchant have just our theme of woe. But for the miracle, I mean our preservation, few in millions can speak like us. Then wisely, good sir, weigh our sorrow with our comfort.
Prithee, peace.
Well, I have done. And yet,
She will be talking.
but the rarity of it is, which is indeed almost beyond credit, that our garments, being as they were drenched in the sea, hold notwithstanding their freshness and glosses, being rather new dyed than stained with salt water.
Prithee, spare.
Methinks our garments are now as fresh as when we put them on first in Africa, at the marriage of the king's fair daughter Claribel to the Prince of Tunis. Is not, sir, my garment as fresh as the first day I put it on? I mean, in a sort.
You cram these words into mine ears against the stomach of my sense. Would I have never married my daughter there, for, coming thence, my son is lost, and in my rate, she too, who is so far from Italy removed, I ne'er again shall see her. O thou mine heir of Naples and Milan, what strange fish hath made his meal on thee?
Sir, he may live. I saw him beat the surges under him and ride upon their backs. He trod a water whose enmity he flung aside, and breasted the surge most swollen that met him. His bold head but the contentious waves he kept, and oared himself with his good arms in lusty stroke to the shore, that o'er his wave-worn bases bowed, as stooping to relieve him. I not doubt he came alive to land.
No, he is gone.
Sir, you may thank yourself for this great loss. We have lost your son. I fear forever. Well, even Milan and Naples have more widows of this business's making than we have men to comfort them. The fault is your own.
So is the dearest of the loss.
My lord Antonio, the truth you speak doth lack some gentleness, and time to speak it in. You rub the sore when you should bring the plaster.
Very well.
It is foul weather in us all, good sir, when you are cloudy.
Very foul.
Had I plantation of this isle, and were the king on it, what would I do? I would with such perfection govern to excel the golden age.
God save her majesty.
And do you mark me, sir?
Prithee, no more. Thou dost talk nothing to me.
Nay, good my lady, be not angry.
No, I warrant you, I will not adventure my discretion so weakly. Will you laugh me asleep, for I am very heavy.
Go sleep and hear us.
What? All so soon asleep? I wish mine eyes would, with themselves, shut up my thoughts. I find they are inclined to do so.
Sir, do not omit the heavy offer of it, for it seldom visits sorrow, and when it doth, it is a comforter. And I, my lord, will guard your safety while you take your sleep, and
Thank
watch
you.
your person.
Thank you. Wondrous heavy.
What strange drowsiness has possessed them? Why then do my eyelids not sink? I find myself not disposed to sleep. They drop together all, as by consent. They fell, as by thunderstroke. What might? Oh, what might? Say they were as they are now, that is, dead. They're no worse off. Oh, that you bore the mind that I do. What sleep were this for my advancement? You do know I did supplant my brother Prospero. And look how well my garments sit upon me. Here lies Alonso. No worse than the earth he lies upon. Say that he is where he is now, that is, dead. That I, with this obedient steel, can put to rest forever. As for the rest, they'll take suggestion as a cat laps milk. They'll tell the clock to any business that we say befits the hour.
My master through his art foresees the danger that you, his friend, are in, and sends me forth, or else his project dies, to keep them living. While you here do snoring lie, open-eyed conspiracy his time doth take. If of life you keep a care, shake off slumber and beware. Awake, awake.
Now, good angels, preserve the king.
Oh. Why, how now? Ho, awake! Why are you drawn? Wherefore this ghastly looking?
What's the matter?
Sir, while I stood here securing your repose, I heard a hollow burst of bellows, like bulls, or rather lions. Did not wake you. It struck my ear most terribly.
I heard nothing.
It was a din to fright a monster's ear, like an earthquake. It was the roar of a whole herd of lions.
Heard you this, Gonzala?
Upon mine honor, sir, I heard a humming, and that a strange one, too, which did awake me. I shaked you, sir, and cried. When mine eyes opened, I saw his weapon drawn. I heard a noise, that's verily.
'Tis best we should quit our ground, or that we quit this place.
Lead off this ground, and let's make further search for my poor son.
Heavens keep him from these beasts, for he is sure in the isle.
Lead away.
All the infections that the sun sucks up, from bogs, fens, flats, fall on Prospero, making by inch meal a disease. His spirits hear me, and yet I needs much curse. But they'll nor pinch me, fright me with urchin shows, nor leave me like a firebrand in the dark out of my way, unless he bid 'em. But for every trifle are they set upon me. Sometimes like apes that mow and chatter at me, and after bites me, then like hedgehogs which lie tumbling in my barefoot way and mount their pricks at my footfall. Sometimes my all wounds with adders who with cloven tongues do hiss me into madness. Lo, and here comes a spirit of his, and to torment me for bringing wood and slowly, I'll fall flat. Cats will not mind me.
Here's neither bush nor shrub to bear off any weather at all, and another storm brewing. I hear it sing in the wind. Yon same black cloud, yon huge one, looks like a foul bombard that would shed his liquor. If it should thunder as it did before, I know not where to hide my head. Yon same cloud cannot choose but fall by pailfuls. What have we here? A man or a fish, dead or alive? A fish. He smells like a fish, a very ancient and fish-like smell, a kind not of the newest Poor John. A strange fish. Were I in England now as I once was, and had but this fish painted, not a holiday fool there but would give me a piece of silver. There would this monster make a man. Any strange beast there makes a man. When they will not give a doit to leave a lame beggar, they will lazy out 10 to see a dead novelty. Leg is like a man, and his fins like arms. Wormwood, thy troth. I do now let loose my opinion. Hold it no longer. This is no fish, but an islander that hath lately suffered from a thunderbolt. Alas, the storm is come again. My best way is to creep under his gabardine. There is no other shelter hereabouts. Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. I will here shroud till the dregs of the storm be past.
I shall no more to sea, here shall I die ashore. This is a scurvy tune to sing at one's funeral. Well, here's my comfort. The master, the swabber, the boatswain, and I, the gunner, and his mate, loved Moll, Meg, Mary, and Marjorie, but none of us cared for Kate. For she had a tongue with a tang, would cry to a sailor, go hang. She loved not the savor of tar nor of pitch, yet a tailor might scratch her where'er she did itch. Then to sea, boys, and let her go hang. This is a scurvy tune too. But here's my comfort.
Do not torment me. Oh!
What's the matter? Have we devils here? I have not escaped drowning to be afeard now of your 4 legs, for it hath been said, as proper a man as ever went on 4 legs cannot make him give ground. And so it shall be said so again, as Stephana breathes at her nostrils.
This spirit torments me. Oh!
This is some monster of the isle with 4 legs who hath got, as I take it, an ague. Where the devil should he learn our language? I will give him some relief if it be but for that. If I can recover him and keep him tame and get back to Naples with him, he's a present for any emperor that ever trod on neat's leather.
Do not torment me, I prithee. I'll bring my wood home faster.
He's in his fit now and does not talk after the wisest. He shall taste him I can. If he have never drunk it afore, I will go near to remove his fit. If I can recover him and keep him tame, I will not take too much for him. He will pay for him that hath him, and that soundly.
Thou dost me yet, but 'twill hurt. Thou wilt anon, I know it, by thy trembling. Now Prospero works upon thee.
Come on your ways. Open your mouth. This is that which will give language to you, cat. Open your mouth. This will shake your shaking. I can tell you this, and that soundly. You cannot tell who's your friend. Open your chaps again.
I should know that voice. It should be. But she is drowned, and these are devils. Oh, defend me.
4 legs and 2 voices. A most delicate monster. His forward voice is to speak well of his friend. His backward voice is to utter foul speeches and to detract. If all the drink in my can recover him, I will help his ague. Come. Amen. I will pour some in thy other mouth.
Stefana!
Ah! Doth thy other mouth call me? Mercy, mercy! This is no monster, but a devil. I will leave him.
Stefana, if thou be a Stefana, touch me and speak to me. For I'm Trinculo, be not afeard, thy good friend Trinculo.
If thou beest Trinculo, come forth. I'll pull thee by thy lesser legs. If any be Trinculo's legs, these are they. Thou art very Trinculo indeed. How camest thou to be siege of this moon calf? Can he vent Trinculos?
I took him to be killed by a thunderstroke. But art thou not drowned, Stefana? I hope now thou art not drowned. Is the storm overblown? I hid me under the dead mooncalf's gabardine for fear of the storm. And art thou living, Stefana? Oh, Stefana, 2 Neapolitan scapes.
Oh, prithee, do not turn me about. My stomach is not constant.
These be fine things. And if they be not spirits, that's a brave god and bear celestial liquor. I will kneel to her.
How camest thou hither? How hast thou escapest? I escaped upon a case of drink, which the sailors heave overboard.
I swear upon that drink to be thy true subject, for that liquor is not earthly.
Here, swear by this can how thou escapest.
Swim ashore, man, like a duck. I can swim like a duck, I'll be sworn.
Thou art made like a goose.
Oh, Stefan, hast any more of this?
The whole case, man. My cellar is by a rock in the seaside where my case of drink is hid. How now, mooncalf? How does thy ague?
Hast thou not dropped from heaven?
Out of the moon I do assure thee.
I have seen thee in her, and I do adore thee.
Here, swear to that. Kiss the book. I will furnish it anon with new contents.
By this good light, this is a very shallow monster. I afeared of him, a very weak monster. This misshapen mooncalf, a most poor, credulous monster. Well-drawn monster, in good sooth.
I'll show thee every fertile inch of this island. I will kiss thy foot, I prithee, be my god!
By this light, a most perfidious and scurvy monster.
I will kiss thy foot. I swear myself thy subject.
Oh, come on then, down and swear!
I shall laugh myself to death at this puppy-headed monster, a most scurvy monster.
I'll show thee the best springs. I'll pluck thee berries. I'll fish for thee and get thee wood enough. A plague upon the tyrant that I serve. I'll bear him with no more sticks but follow thee, thou wondrous lady.
A most ridiculous monster, to make a wonder out of a poor servant.
I prithee, let me bring thee where crabs grow, and I with my long nails will dig thee pig nuts, show thee to jay's nets, and instruct thee how to snare the nimble marmoset. I'll bring thee to clustering filberts, and sometimes I'll get the young scamels from the rock. Wilt thou go with me?
I prithee no! Lead the way, without any more talking. Trinculo, the king and his company else being drowned, we will inherit here. Here, bear my drink, fellow Trinculo. We'll fail him by and by again.
Farewell, master, farewell, farewell. No more dams I'll make for fish, nor vetch in firing at requiring, nor scrape a trencher, nor wash, nor a dish. Van Caliban has a new master. Get a new man. Freedom, heyday. Heyday, freedom, freedom. Heyday, freedom.
toiling monster.
Oh, brave monster, lead the way.
There be some sports are painful, and their labor delight in them sets off. Some kinds of baseness are nobly undergone, and most poor matters point to rich ends. This, my mean task, will be as heavy to me as odious. But the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead, and makes my labors pleasures. Oh, she is 10 times more gentle than her father's crabbed, and he's composed of harshness. I must remove some 1,000 of these logs, and pile them up upon a sore injunction. My sweet mistress weeps when she sees me work, and says, such baseness had never like executor. I forget. But these sweet thoughts do even refresh my labors, most busy lest when I do it.
Alas, now pray you, work not so hard. I would the lightning have burnt up these logs that you are enjoined to pile. Pray, set it down and rest you. When this burns, 'twill weep for having wearied you. My father's hard at study. Pray now, rest yourself. He's safe for these 3 hours.
No, dear mistress, the sun will soon set before I shall discharge what I must strive to do.
If you'll sit down, I'll bear your logs the while. Pray, give me that, I'll carry it to the pile.
No, precious creature. I'd rather crack my sinews, break my back, than you shall such dishonor undergo while I sit lazy by.
It would become of me as well as it does you, and I should do it with much more ease, for my good will is to it, and yours it is against.
Poor worm, thou art infected. This visitation shows it.
You look warily.
No, dear mistress, 'tis but fresh morning with me when you are by at night. I do beseech you chiefly that I might sit in my prayers. What is your name?
Miranda. My father, I have broke your hest to say so.
Admired Miranda. Indeed, the top of admiration, worth what's dearest to the world. Full many a lady I've eyed with best regard, and many a time the harmony of their tongues hath into bondage brought my too diligent ear. For several virtues have I like several women. Never any with so fun soul, but some defect in them did quarrel with the noblest grace she owed, and put it to the foil. But you, oh you, so perfect and so peerless are created of every creature's best.
I do not know one of my sex. No woman's face remember, save from my glass, mine own. Nor have I seen more that I may call men than you, good friend, and my dear father. How features are abroad I am skilless of, but by my modesty, the jewel in my dower, I cannot wish any companion in the world but you, nor can imagination form a shape besides yourself to like of. But I prattle something too wildly, and my father's precepts I therein do forget.
I'm in my condition a prince, Miranda. I do think a king I would not so. Hear my soul speak. The very instant that I saw you did my heart fly to your service. There resides to make me slave to it. And for your sake am I this patient log man.
Do you love me?
Oh heaven, oh earth, bear witness to the sound and crown what I profess with kind event if I speak true. If hollowly invert what best is boded me to mischief, I beyond all else in the world do love, prize, honor you.
Oh, I am a fool, Zoe, but what I am glad of.
Fair encounter of two most rare affections. Heavens, rain grace on that which breeds between them.
Wherefore weep you?
At mine unworthiness that dare not offer what I desire to give, much less take what I shall die to want. But this is trifling, and all the more it seeks to hide itself the bigger bulk it shows. Hence, bashful cunning, and prompt me full and holy innocence. I am your wife if you will marry me.
My mistress, dearest, and I thus humble ever.
My husband, then.
I, with a heart as willing as bondage ever of freedom, here's my hand.
And mine, with my heart in it. And now farewell, till half an hour hence.
1,000,000.
So glad of this as they I cannot be, who are surprised withal. Yet my rejoicing at nothing could be more. I'll to my book, yet ere supper time must I perform some business appertaining.
Tell not me! When the case is out, we will drink water, not a drop before. Therefore, bear up and boredom. Servant monster, drink to me.
Servant monster, the folly of this island. They say there's but 5 of us on this isle. We are 3 of them. If the other 2 be brained like us, the state totters.
Drink, servant monster, when I bid thee, thy eyes are almost set in thy head.
Where should they be set else? He were a brave monster indeed if they were set in his tail.
My man monster hath drowned his tongue. On my part, the sea could not drown me. I swam ere I could recover the shore, 35 leagues off and on. By this light, thou shalt be my lieutenant, monster, or my standard.
Your lieutenant, if you list. He's no standard.
I will not run, monsieur monster.
Nor go neither, but you'll lie like dogs and yet say nothing neither.
Mooncalf, speak once in thy life if thou beest a good mooncalf.
How does thy hunter? Let me lick thy foot. I'll not serve him. He's not valiant.
Thou liest, most ignorant monster. I am ready to jostle a constable. Why, thou fish, thou was there ever a man, a coward that has drunk so much as I today? Wilt thou tell a monstrous lie, being but half a fish and half a monster?
Lo, how he mocks me. Wilt thou let him, my lady?
Lady, quoth he, that a monster should be such a natural.
Lo, lo again. I prithee bite him to death.
Trinculo! Keep a good tongue in your head. If you prove a mutineer, the next tree. The monster is my subject, and he shall not suffer indignity.
I thank my noble lady. Wilt thou be pleased to hearken once again to the suit I made to thee?
Marry, will I kneel and repeat it? I will stand, and so shall Trinculo.
Why, as I told thee before, I am subject to a tyrant, a sorcerer, but by his cunning hath cheated me of this island.
Thou liest.
Thou liest! Thou jesting monkey, thou! I would my very master would destroy thee! I do not lie.
Trinculo! Interrupt the monster one more word in his tail, and by this hand I will supplant some of your teeth.
Why? I said nothing.
Mum then, and no more. Proceed.
I say, by sorcery he got this isle. From me, he got it. If thy greatness will revenge it on him, for I know thou darest, but this thing dare not.
That's most certain.
Thou shalt be queen of it, and I'll serve thee.
How now shall this be compassed? Canst thou bring me to the party?
Yea, yea, my lady, I'll yield him thee asleep. And where there thou mayest knock a nail into his head.
Thou liest, thou canst not.
What a pine is this, thou scurvy patch! I do beseech thy greatness. Give him blows and take his can from him. When that's gone, he shall drink naught but brine, for I'll not show him where the quick freshers are.
Trinculo! Run into no further danger. Interrupt the monster any more in's tail, and I'll turn my mercy out of doors and make a stockfish of thee.
Why? What did I? I did nothing. I'll go farther off.
Didst thou not say he lied?
Thou liest.
Do I so? Take a step back! As you like this, give me the lie another time.
I did not give the lie. Out of your wits and bearing too, a pox in your can. All this can drinking do. A murrain on your monster, and the devil take your fingers.
Now, forward with your tale.
Give him blows enough. After a little time, I'll beat him too.
Prithee, stand further off.
Why, as I told thee before, 'tis a custom with him in the afternoon to sleep, where there thou mayest brain him, having first seized his books, or with a log batter his skull, or punch him with a stick, or cut his weasand with thy knife. Remember, first to possess his books, For without them he's but a sot, nor hath one spirit to command. They all do hate him as rootedly as I. Remember, burn but his books. He has brave utensils, for so he calls them. For when he has a house, he'll deck withal.
Monster, I will kill this man, and I will be queen. God save the queen. And Trinculo and thyself shall be viceroys. Dost thou like the plot, Trinculo?
Excellent.
Give me thy hand. I'm sorry I beat thee, but while thou livest, keep a good tongue in your head.
Within this half hour will he be asleep. Wilt thou destroy him then?
Aye, on mine honor.
Thou makest me merry. Will you troll the catch that taught me but while ere?
At thy request, monster, I will do reason, any reason. Come on, Trinculo, let us sing! Flout 'em and scout 'em, scout 'em and flout 'em, thought is free.
Flout 'em and scout 'em, scout 'em and flout 'em, thought is free. Scout 'em and scout 'em, scout 'em and flout 'em, thought is free. Scout 'em and scout 'em, scout 'em and flout 'em, thought is free.
If thou beest a man, show thyself in thy likeness. If thou beest a devil, take it as thou list.
Oh, forgive me my sins.
He that dies pays all debts. I defy thee.
Mercy upon us.
Art thou afeard?
No, monster, not I.
Be not afeard. This isle's full of noises, sounds and sweet airs that give delight, hurt not. Sometimes 1,000 wangling instruments will come about mine ears, and voices that, if I were to wake after long sleep, would make me sleep again. Then in dreaming, the clouds methought would open and show riches ready to drop upon me that, when I waked, I would cry to dream again.
This will prove a brave kingdom to me where I can have my music for nothing.
When Prospero is destroyed.
It shall be by and by, remember the story.
The sound is going away. Let's follow it and after do our work.
Lead the way, monster, we'll follow. I wonder if I could see this tabor. He lays it on.
Well, come. I'll follow Stephanie.
Fire Lake, and I can go no further, sir. By your patience, I needs must rest me.
I cannot blame thee, who am myself attached with weariness to the dulling of my spirits. Sit down and rest. Even here I will put off my hope and keep it no longer for my flatterer. He is drowned, whom thus we stray to find, and the sea mocks our frustrate search on land. Well, let him go.
I'm right glad he saw it a hope. Next advantage, I'll take thoroughly.
What harmony is this? My good friends, hark!
Marvelous sweet music.
Give us, kind keepers, heavens, what were these?
If in Naples I should report this now, would they believe me?
I cannot too much muse, such shapes, such gesture, and such sound expressing. Although they want the use of tongue, a kind of excellent dumb discourse.
They vanished strangely.
No matter, for they left their viands behind, and we have stomachs!
Wait, sir, you need not fear.
Not I, not I. Okay. I will stand to and feed. Although my last, no matter, for I feel the best is past. My lord the Duke, stand to and do as we.
You are men of sin! Destiny that hath to enter this never surfeited sea hath caused to belch up you. And on this isle, where man doth not inhabit, you amongst men being most unfit to live, I have made you mad. And even with such, like valor, men hang and drown their proper selves.
You fools! I and my fellows are ministers of fate. The elements of whom your swords are tempered may as well wound the loud winds, or with bemocked at stabs kill the still closing waters as diminish one dowel that's in my plume. My fellow ministers are like invulnerable. If you could hurt, your swords are now too massy for your strengths and will not be upheld. But remember, for that's my business to you, that you from Millen did supplant good Prospero, exposed unto the sea, which hath requited him and his innocent child. For this high wrong the powers delaying, not forgetting, have incensed the seas, shores, yea, all creatures against your peace. Thee, of thy son Alonso, they have bereft, and to hear pronounced by me lingering perdition, worse than any death can be at once, will step by step attend you and your ways, whose wraths to guard you from, which here on this most desolate isle else falls on your heads, are nothing but heart sorrow and a clear life ensuing. Bravely the figure of this harpy did thou perform, my Ariel. At this time, all my enemies are knit up in their distractions. They're in my power, and in these fits I leave them while I to visit Ferdinand, whom they suppose is drowned, and his and my loved darling.
In the name of something holy, sir, why stand you in this strange stare?
Oh, it is monstrous, monstrous. Methought the billows spoke and told me of it. The winds did sing it to me, and the thunder, that deep and dreadful organ pipe, pronounced the name of Prosper. It did base my trespass. Therefore, my son in the ooze is bedded, and I'll seek him deeper than air plummet sounded, and with him there lie mudded.
But one fiend at a time! I'll fight their legions over!
Both are desperate. I do beseech you that are of suppler joints, follow them swiftly, and hinder them from what this ecstasy may now provoke them to.
Follow, I pray you.
If I have too austerely punished you, your compensation makes amends. For here I will give thee a third of mine own life, nay, that for which I live, which once again I tender to thy hand. All thy vexations were but my trials of thy love, which strangely hast thou stood the test here, afore heaven. I ratify this, my rich gift. Don't, Ferdinand, do not smile at me that you think I boast her off, for she shall outstrip all praise and make it halt behind her.
I do believe it, against an oracle.
Then, as my gift, and thine own acquisition worthily purchased, take thou my daughter.
But if thou dost break my virgin not, before all sanctimonious ceremonies may with full and holy rite be ministered, no sweet aspersion shall the heavens let fall to make our contract grow. But there in hate, Sarah I disdain, in discord shall bestrew the union of our bed with weeds so lowly that you shall hate it.
And therefore take heed, as Hymen's lamps shall light you.
As I hope for quiet days, fair issue and long life with such love as 'tis now, the murkiest and the most opportune place, the strongest suggestion, our worser genius can shall never melt mine honor into lust, to take away the edge of that day's celebration, when I shall think or refuse the steeds our founder, or night kept chained below.
Fairly spoke. Sit then, and talk with her a while, for she is thine own. Come, my spirit, come, Ariel!
What would my good master? Here I am.
Thou and thy meaner fellows thy last service did worthily perform, but I must use you in such another trick. Go, and bring the rabble, or whom I give thee power, hither to this place, and cite them to quick motion, for I must bestow upon the eyes of this young couple some vanity of mine art.
Presently.
Aye, with a twink.
Well, I can see.
Hey, look you! Be true! Give not dalliance too much the rein. The strongest oaths are but straw to the fire in the blood. Be more abstemious, or else good night your vow.
I warrant you, sir, the white cold virgin snow upon my heart abates the ardor of my liver.
Well, come with a thought. I thank thee, Ariel. Come! Bring spirit, or else want. No tongue. All eyes. Be silent.
Highest Queen of State, great Juno comes. I know her by her gait. Honor, riches, marriage, blessing, long continuance, and increasing. Our worthy joys be still upon you. Juno sings her blessings on you. Earth's increase and foisions plenty, barns and corners never empty, vines and clustering branches growing. Juno sings her blessings on you. Spring come to you in the farthest, in the very end of harvest. Scarcity and want shall shun you. Juno's blessings
so on you. Honor, riches, marriage, blessings, long continuance, and increasing. Hourly joys be still upon you. Juno sings her blessings on you. We all sing our blessings on you.
This is a most majestic vision and harmoniously charming. My bold to think these spirits?
Spirits, which by mine art I have from their confines called to enact my present fancies.
Oh, let me live here ever. So rare a wondered father and a wife makes this place paradise.
Sweet now, soft, there's more to do. Therefore, hush and be mute, or else our spell is marred. I had almost forgot the foul conspiracy of the monster Caliban and his companions against my life. The minute of their plot is almost come. Avoid no more!
This is strange. Your father's in some passion that works him strongly.
Never to this day saw him touched with anger so distempered.
You do look, my son, in a moved sort, as if you were dismayed. Be cheerful, sir. Our revels now are ended, and our actors, as I foretold you, were but spirits and are melted into air. Into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, solemn temples, the great globe itself. Yea, all which it inherit shall dissolve. And like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little lives are rounded with a sleep. I am vexed. Bear with my weakness. My brain is troubled. I pray you, pay no mind to my vexation. If it please you, retire into my cell and repose there a while. I'll walk a turn or two around to still my beating mind.
We wish you peace.
Come with a thought, I thank thee, Ariel!
Thy thoughts I cleave to. What's thy pleasure?
We must prepare to meet with Caliban.
Aye, my commander. I thought to have told thee of it when first I presented Juno, but I feared lest I might anger thee.
Say again, where did thou leave these varlets?
I told you, sir. They were red hot with drinking, so full of valor that they smote the air, for breathing in their faces, beat the ground, for kissing of their feet, yet always bending towards their project. Then I beat my tabor, at which, like unbat colts, they pricked their ears, advanced their eyelids, lifted up their noses as they smelt music, so I charmed their ears, that calf-like they my lowing followed through. Tooth briars, sharp furzes, pricking gossamer thorns, which entered their frail shins. At last I left them in the filthy mantled pool beyond your cell. There, dancing up to their chins, in the low, foul lake.
Oh, this was well done, my bird. Retain thou thy shape invisible. The trumpery in my cell, go bring it hither to use as stale to catch these thieves.
I go.
A devil. A born devil. On whose nature, nurture can never stick, on whom all my pains are all lost, quite lost. And as with age his body uglier grows, so his mind cankers. I'll plague them all, even to roaring. Yes, hang them up on this line. Well done, my bird. Oh.
pray you, tread softly, that the blind mole may not hear a foot fall. We are now near his cell.
Monster, your fairy, which you say is a harmless fairy, has done little more than play the jack on us!
Monster, I do smell all horse piss, at which my nose is in great indignation.
So is mine! If I should take a displeasure against you, look you!
Thou wert but a lost monster.
Good my lady, give me thy favor still, for the prize I'll bring to thee shall hoodwink this mischance. Therefore speak softly. All's hushed as midnight yet.
Aye, but to lose our cans in the pool.
There is not only disgrace and dishonor in that monster, but infinite loss.
That is more to me than my wedding. Yet this is your harmless fairy monster.
I shall go and fetch my cans out of the pool, though I be your ears for my labor.
I prithee, my queen, be quiet. Seest thou here? This is the mouth of the cell. No noise, and enter. Do that good mischief now, which shall make this island thine own forever. And I thy Caliban, for I thy footlicker.
Give me thy hand, Trinculo. I do begin to have bloody thoughts.
Oh, Queen Stephana. Oh, peer, oh, worthy Stephana, look what a wardrobe is here for thee.
Let it alone, fool. It is but trash.
Oh, ho, monster. We know it belongs in a frippery. Yes, Queen Stephana.
Oh, put off that gown, Trinculo. By this hand, I'll have that gown.
Thy grace shall have it.
The dropsy, drown this fool. What do you mean to dote thus on such luggage? Let's do the murder first. If he awake from toe to crown, he'll fill our skin with pinches, make us strange stuff.
Oh, be you quiet, monster. Mistress Thine, is this not my jerkin? Now, is the jerkin under the line? Now, jerkin, you are like to lose your hair and prove a ball jerkin.
Do. We steal by line and level, and check your grace.
I thank thee for that jest. Here's a garment for it, which shall not go unrewarded while I am queen of this isle. Steal by line and level is an excellent pass of pate. Here's another garment for it.
Monster, come, put some light upon your fingers and away with the rest.
I will have none on it. We shall lose our time, or I'll be turned to barnacles or apes with foreheads villainous low.
Monster, help me to carry this load back to where my case of drink is hid, or I'll turn you out of my kingdom. Go to, carry this.
And this.
Aye, and this.
Go, bid my goblins grind their joints with dry convulsions, shorten up their sinews with aged cramps, and make them more pinch-spotted than pard or catamountain.
Hark! They roar!
Let 'em be hunted soundly! Oh, my high charms work, mine enemies are all in my power. Shortly shall my labors end, and thou shalt have thy freedom. But first, follow me and do me service. Now does my project gather to a head. My charms crack not, my spirits obey, and time goes upright with his carriage. How's the day?
Upon the 6th hour, at which time, my lord, you said our work should cease.
I did say so when first I raised the Tempest. But say, how fares the king and all his followers?
Confined together in the same fashion as you gave in charge. All prisoners, sir. Your charm so strongly works them that if you now beheld them, your affections would become tender.
Dost thou think so, spirit?
Mine would, sir, were I human.
And mine shall. Hast thou, being made of but air, a touch, a feeling of their afflictions? And shall not I, being one of their kind, who relishes all as sharply passions as they, be not kindlier moved than thou art? Though with their high wrongs I am struck to the quick, yet with my nobler reason 'gainst my fury do I take part. The rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance. They being penitent, I'll not extend this my sole aim a frown further. Go release them, Ariel. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves again.
I'll fetch them, sir.
Ye elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes and groves, and you who on the sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune and do fly him when he comes back, ye demi-puppets who by moonlight to the green sour ringlets make, where ewes not bite, whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms and rejoice at the solemn curfew. With your aid, weak ministers though ye be, I have bedimmed the noontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azured vault set roaring war. The dread rattling thunder have I given fire, and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt. The strong-backed promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves, at my command, have waked their sleepers, oped, and set 'em forth by my so potent art. But this rough magic I here abjure. And when I have required some heavenly music, as even now I do, to work mine end upon those this airy charm is for, I'll break my staff and bury it certain fathoms in the earth, and then deeper than did ever plummet sound, I'll drown my book. The solemn air and the best comforter to an unsettled fancy cure thy brains, now useless, boiled in your skull. There stand, for thou art spell stopped. Oh, Lady Gonzala, honorable one, mine eyes even sociable to the sight of thine fall fellowly drops. The charm dissolves, and as the morning steals upon the night, melting the darkness, so their rising senses chase away the ignorant fumes that mantle their clearer reason. Oh, good Gonzala, my true preserver and loyal lady, to him thou followest, I'll repay thy goodness home both in word and deed. Most cruelly didst thou, Alonso, use me and my child, flesh and blood, you, brother of mine, who entertained ambition, expelled remorse and nature, who would here have killed your king. I do forgive thee, unnatural though thou art. their understanding begins to swell, and soon the rising tide shall fill the reasonable shore that now lies foul and muddy. Not one of them would yet look on me or would know me. Ariel, I will discase me and present myself as I was sometime Millen. Hurry, spirit, thou shalt e'er be free for this!
Where the bee sucks, there suck I. In a cowslip spell I lie. There I couch while owls do cry. On the bat's back merrily. Over summer merrily. Merrily, merrily shall I live now under the blossom that hangs on the bough. Merrily, merrily shall I live now under the blossom that hangs on the bough.
My dainty Ariel, I shall miss thee. But thou shalt have thy freedom. So, to the king's ship. There thou shalt find the mariners asleep beneath the hatches, the master and the boatswain being awake, and force them to this place. And presently, I prithee.
I drink the air before me and return, or ere your pulse twice beat.
All torment, trouble, wonder, and amazement inhabits here. Some heavenly power guide us out of this fearful country.
Behold, Sir King, the wronged Duke of Millen, Prospero. For more assurance that a living prince doth now speak to thee, I do embrace thy body, and you and your companions bid a hearty welcome.
Whether thou beest he or no, or some enchanted trifle to abuse me, as late I have been, I not know. Thy pulse beats of flesh and blood, and since I saw thee, the affliction of my mind amends, with which I fear a madness held me. This must crave, and if this be at all, a most strange story. Thy dukedom I resign, and do entreat thou pardon me my wrongs. But how should Prospero be living and be here?
First, noble friend, I embrace thine age, whose goodness knows no measure or boundary.
Whether this be or be not, I'll not swear.
Oh, you do yet taste some subtleties of the isle, which will not let you believe things certain. But welcome, my friends all. But you, brother of mine, were now fit to do it, I would call down his majesty's frown upon you and justify you traitor. At this time I will tell no tales.
The devil speaks in him.
No. For you, most evil sir, whom to call brother would even infect my mouth. I do forgive thy rankest faults, all of them, and do require of you my dukedom, which perforce I know thou must restore.
If thou beest Prospero, give us particulars of thy preservation, how thou hast met us here, who 3 hours since were wrecked upon this shore, where I have lost, how sharp the point of this remembrance is, my dear son Ferdinand.
I am woe for it, sir.
Irreparable is the loss, and patience says it is past her cure.
I fear you have not sought her help, whose soft grace I, for the like loss, have her sovereign aid and rest by self-content.
You the like loss?
As great to me as late, and supportable to make the dear loss of I means much weaker than you can call upon to comfort you. For I have lost my daughter.
A daughter? Oh, heavens, that they were living both in Naples. The king and queen there that they were. I wish myself were mudded in that oozy bed where my son lies. When did you lose your daughter?
In this last tempest. I do perceive your lords do so amaze at this encounter that they devour their senses and scarce would believe their eyes to do them offices of truth. Well, howsoe'er your senses were justled from, you know that I am Prospero, that very duke who was thrust forth from Milan and was most strangely landed upon this shore where you were wrecked to be the Lord on't. But no more of this. 'Tis a chronicle of day by day, and not reasonable for a breakfast or appropriate to a first meeting. Welcome, sir. This cell is my court. Few subjects have I, and no attendants abroad. I pray you, look in, for as you have restored my dukedom to me, I shall requite you with such good a thing, at least to bring forth an amazement to comfort you, as much as my dukedom does me.
Sweet lord, you play me false.
No, my dearest love, I will not for all the world.
Yes, for a score of kingdoms you should wrangle, and I would call it fair play.
If this prove a vision of the island, one dear son shall I twice lose.
A most high miracle.
Though the seas threaten, they are merciful. I've cursed them without cause.
Now all the blessings of a glad father compass thee about. Arise, and say how thou camest here.
Oh, wonder, how many goodly creatures are there here? How beauteous mankind is. Oh, brave new world that has such people in it.
'Tis new to thee.
What is this maid with whom thou wast at play? Your eldest acquaintance cannot be 3 hours. Is she the goddess that has severed us and brought us thus together?
No, sir, I am mortal. He chose me when he cannot ask you for your advice. I am daughter to this famous Duke of Milan.
Of whom I have so often heard great renown, but never saw before. Of whom I have received a second life, and a second father this lady makes unto me.
I am hers. But oh, how oddly will it sound that I must ask my child forgiveness.
There, sir, stop. Let not the heaviness of this remembrance burden us with a thing that's gone.
I have inly wept and should have spoke ere this. Look down, you gods, and upon this couple drop a blessed crown. For it is you that has chalked forth the way that has led us hither.
I say amen, Gonzala. Give me your hands. Let grief and sorrow still embrace his heart that doth not wish you joy.
So be it, amen.
Oh, look, sir. Look, sir, here's more of us. What is the news?
The best news is that I have found our king and company. The next, our ship, which but 3 glasses since we gave out split, is tight and yar and bravely rigged, as when we first put out to sea.
Sir, all the service have I done since I went.
My tricksy spirit.
These are not natural events. They strengthen from strange to stranger. Say, how came you hither?
If I did think, lady, I were well awake, I'd strive to tell you we were dead of sleep. And how we know not, all clapped under hatches, where but even now with strange and several sounds of roaring, shrieking, howling, jingling chains, and more diversity of sounds, all horrible, we were awaked straightway at liberty, where we, in all her trim, freshly beheld our royal, good and gallant ship.
Wast well done.
Bravely, my diligence. Thou shalt e'er be free for this.
This is as strange a maze as e'er men trod, and there is in this business more than nature was ever conductive. Some oracle must rectify our knowledge.
Sir, my liege, infect not your mind with the beating on of this business. At picked leisure, which shall be shortly, singly I'll resolve you, to which you it shall all seem probable. Each of these happened accidents, till when? Be cheerful and think of each thing well. Spirit, go, set Caliban and his companions free, untie the spell. How fares your grace? there are yet missing some few odd lads of your company you remember not.
Everyone shift for all the rest, and let no one take care for themselves, for all is but fortune. Coraggio, bully monster, coraggio.
If these be true spies which I wear in my head, here's a goodly sight.
Oh, Cinemas, these be brave spirits indeed. How fine my master is. I'm afeard he will chastise me.
Mark but the badges of these men, my lords, and say if they be true. This misshapen knave, his mother was a witch and a powerful one who could control the moon, make flows and ebbs, and deal in her command without her power. This demi-devil and these two have robbed me, and he, oh, he's a bastard one, has conspired with them to take my life. Two of these things, sir, you must know and own. This thing of darkness I acknowledge as mine.
I shall be pinched to death.
Not this Stephana, my foolish butler, and Trinculo is reeling mad. Where should they find this grand liquor that hath gilded them? How camest thou in this pickle?
How camest I in such a pickle? I have been in such a pickle since I saw you last that I fear me will never be out of my bones. Bones?
Why, how now, Stephana?
Oh, touch me not, for I am not Stephana, but a cramp.
That would be Queen of the Isle, Sirrah.
I should have been a sore one then.
This is a strange thing as e'er I looked on.
Oh, he is as disproportioned in his manners as he is in his shape. Look you, Sirrah, go to my cell. Take your companions with you. As you look to earn my pardon, trim it handsomely.
Aye, thus I will. And I'll be wise hereafter and seek for grace. What a thrice double ass was I to take this human for God and worship this dull fool.
Go to, away.
Hence, and bestow your luggage where you found it. Sir, I invite your highness and your train to our poor cell, where you shall take your rest for this one night, which part of it will waste with such discourse as, I no doubt may go quick away, the story of our lives, and the particular accidents gone by since we came to this isle.
And in the morning, I'll take you to your ship, and then to Naples, where I have hopes to see the nuptials of these our dear beloved solemnized, and then retire me to my millen, where every third thought shall be my grave.
I long to hear the story of your lives, which must take the ear strangely.
And I shall deliver all, and promise you calm seas, auspicious gales, and sail so expeditious you shall catch your fleet far off.
Now I needs must part, parting though I absent mourn. Absence can no joy impart. Joy once fled cannot return.
Dear, if I do not return, love and I shall die together. For my absence never mourn, whom you might have joyed ever. Sad despair doth drive me hence, this despair unkindness sends. If this parting be offense, it is she that then offends. I do to part with you. In despair doth cause to lie, who both lived and dieth true. Be free, and fare thou well. By Ariel. Chick. Now to the elements be free, and fare thou well. Pray you, now my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I have is mine own, which is most faint. Now 'tis true, I must be here confined by you or sent to Naples. Oh, let me not, now that I've my dukedom got and pardoned the deceiver, dwell in this bare island by your spell, but release me from my bands with the help of your good hands. Gentle breath of yours my sails must fill, or else my project fails, which was to please. Now, I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair, unless I be relieved by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults mercy itself and cures all faults. As you from crimes would pardoned be, let your indulgence set me free.